And we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Totally Recall MMA. We're back on your lives. It's
Yes, sir.
Thursday, May 14th, man. How's everyone's week been? Just let's get it going.
Hey, we're doing good, man. We're doing good.
Good ass week.
Great last two events, right? Right, Ray?
Hell yeah, bro. These cards have been awesome. These cards have been stacked. And then on Saturday, we have another stacked one. So we're just getting spoiled as fight fans. So
Yeah, I think that's a great.
I want to say thank you, Dana White. That's all I want to say.
Yeah, I think it's a great place to start, man. It's a great time to be a fight fan because we are the fans that are getting blessed right now, man. The other sports fans,
Yes,
they cannot say the same. There's no NBA going on, guys. Basically it's the UFC and Michael Jordan documentary dominating the news
yes,
cycle.
Sir. The last days.
Which is great, by the way.
I haven't seen it. Is it good? It's good?
It's dope.
I think it's pretty
You'll
dope.
like it.
I think it's pretty dope, man. I will say that ESPN's doing a pretty good job of airing
Keeping
out,
the content.
just keeping the content going. But let's not get away from what we all were privileged to watch on Saturday night, the return of UFC 249. It was the first event that the UFC had been able to get off since their Brazil event in March. Their return amidst a pandemic. When we did the show last week, we talked about possible things that would go wrong. And, I think besides the positive test by one fighter, Jacare Souza, whose fight was canceled, I think the event went pretty much off without a hitch. And I think that's a great, place to start when we're talking about these fights.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess from when you're looking at it from the surface level, from watching the TV, everything looked like it went super smoothly as far as I know. And I haven't heard any, complaints from, staff and fighters that stuff has gone wrong. But, I mean, I guess we can get into it. We were going to start talking about the Ngannou murdering Rosenstrike in 20 seconds. And, I mean, what can you say? He puts the fear of God in people's eyes. I mean, you see the way he was staring at him before they were walking out backstage. I don't know if anybody saw that video, but it was crazy.
Intense.
I mean,
that I wouldn't even know what to do at that point. Where if I looked over and I saw someone as big as fucking Francis Ngannou staring me down, huffing and puffing, I'd be like, oh shit, here we go. Like, it's just one big dude. But I don't know. Just like how they said, you just have to be careful what you wish for. Because he wanted that. He asked for that fight.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I want Ngannou. That's what he said. And he got blasted, face plastered into oblivion. What did you think about that shit, bro?
I mean, it was over. It was over real quick. I mean, if you blinked, you missed the fight. And understandably, Francis said he was a bit frustrated at the length of the fight. Nonetheless, happy with the victory. We'll see where he goes next. He obviously wants the title fight. He thinks, he's in line, but he's got to wait until DC and Stipe can figure their fight out. But nonetheless, man, he's knocking right there. He's gonna need that title shot.
Oh, absolutely. I agree 100%. He definitely deserved it.
I mean, it's so frustrating for the division because DC and Stipe, they don't really want to fight anybody else. Stipe has never mentioned fighting Ngannou again, except only DC. So they're just holding up the division. So, I mean, what are they going to do?
I would just say it's fair because of what DC's done for the division. So, I'm going to hold it for him. But, it's not like there's not a contender right here. You know what I'm saying? So, if there's something going on or they can't make that fight, like Steve said, he's not even training right now. So, if they can't make the fight, I feel like it's only fair for them to let Ngannou do something. Or, how he's talking shit to John Jones. Let him do it. You know what I'm saying? Fuck it. If he's not going to fight for the belt, let him go fucking fight John Jones. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel about it.
Hey, I'm going to go on a limb. I'm going to just say this. This is what they should do. Just strip Stipe. Just do Stipe DC 3. Just do it. And then the vacant heavyweight title, Jones and Ngannou.
Oh, dude.
But who cares about the belt, Stipe and DC?
I feel like we can't strip DC or we can't strip Stipe.
I feel like you can't strip Yeah, I mean, I feel like Stipe will be eventually in a spot where he's going to have to sign for a day or get stripped. I think we might already be
100%.
there. But
100%.
if you strip Stipe and you put that belt on the line between anyone else, then you're taking the opportunity away from DC to potentially retire as heavyweight champion. At which point the belt would
That's
become
true.
vacant. At which point the belt would just become vacant anyways. But nonetheless, the entire division is getting held up, and it's got to be frustrating, not just for Ngannou, but for some of these other guys that are coming up. Because while the division is getting, log jammed at the top, Ngannou is just going to be beating down all of the potential contenders coming up.
Yeah, but if you're in Francis' spot, like, I feel like he shouldn't fight anybody unless it's for the title or if it's for a super fight. I feel like he doesn't have
wait
to
it
fight
out.
any more people coming up. You know what I'm saying?
I definitely feel that. We're just gonna have to wait and see what happens. I think that DC said he's training to prepare for the fight potentially being in August. Stipe saying that he hasn't even started training yet. We'll see where it goes. I mean, it definitely. I'd like to talk about just kind of how different it is watching a vicious knockout like that, or even just watching fighters absorb strikes without the audio of the fans being in there. It definitely brings back kind of, going to the feelings of going to like a local show, at least for me, where
it's 100% better.
You hear it and it's awkward, and that was awkward to watch, at least for me, like, because it was quiet, but it was deathly.
I'm gonna tell you why I personally like it better. I like it better because, like, you can hear like what they're saying to each other. Like, every check, kick, punch, you hear everything. And I feel like I like it so much better. It's more intense. There's no crowd. It's like basically like a street fight now. It's like, fuck, like I ran into this dude in the alley and now we're fighting. That's probably what it feels like for them, because they're not fighting in front of anybody. You know what I'm saying? They're fighting in front of the camera. That's it.
Yeah,
so
and it's both guys fighting as themselves. There's no crowd influencing them. It's just them, like their raw self fighting.
So much better. I fucking love it.
Yeah, and we just started with that fight on the card, but I mean the entire night was stacked. So by the time that Francis had knocked out Rosenstrike, I mean, they fed us another great fight in Dominic Cruz versus Henry Cejudo. Henry Cejudo knocking out Cruz TKOing Cruz in the second round. Wow, guys, what were your thoughts on that? I mean, Tommy, let's hear what you got to say.
I mean, I think both guys looked good. They looked back and forth, but I feel like Cejudo was finding his timing better, like, as the second round got on. And you could debate whether the stoppage was early or not, but you got to admit Cejudo caught Cruz with a really good strike. That knee was perfectly placed.
Yes.
And I feel like that stoppage wasn't as bad as the TJ one. Like, the TJ one was probably a worse stoppage when you think about it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's like I feel the same for both, I guess, because I feel like it's Dominic Cruz. You kind of have to let him fight it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
you got to give him a chance to recover.
I agree with the stoppage because, like you said, he got clipped, he got hit, he did get dropped. I understand it, and he wasn't really defending, but he was getting up. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like as a referee, and I'm like, that's Dominic Cruz. You know what I'm saying? I have to let him fight it. If it was one of these younger guys, I feel like I would be like, like that, we're done. We're going to protect him, he's young. But I feel like since it's Dominic Cruz, I feel like you got to let it go.
I feel like
that's my opinion.
I feel like it would have been a more justified stoppage if there weren't, the seconds weren't winding down in the round. I think that was, that kind of took away from it. And when Cruz is doing his interview, which, we'll touch on, he said that the last 20 seconds of the round is, there is an expected burst, sequence to take place where the referee has to expect that. The referee, he says, should know the time. We'll get into that. But, at the end of the day, he got caught. That's what we saw happen. We know that Cruz likes to settle in just a little bit. He said he wished he had been a little bit faster in that first round. But we saw him get on Ariel Helwani's show the other day, and he took responsibility. But within the first the first minute of the call, he talks about an experience that he had backstage before the fight with Keith Peterson. Do either one of you want to summarize Dominique's experience with referee Peterson?
I mean, yeah, okay, I'll go for it. I mean, basically, like as what he was saying is, if he talked to Keith Peterson and he told him, hey, if I'm getting clipped, if I get dropped, like let me go on my shield. He told him that. And as a ref, if a fighter tells you that, you're supposed to let that. You're supposed to let it go. Like he's telling him like, hey, I'm going out on my shield. So I feel like as him to say that to the ref, he has to let that go. You can't stop it. He asked you what he wanted, and he said, get down his shield. You kind of have to let him do it. And it's Dominic Cruz, like not trying to be biased. Like I'm a huge fan of Dominic Cruz, but I feel like if any fighter told like a ref, like, hey, if I get dropped tonight, don't be scared. Let me fight through it. I feel like, okay, I trust you. I'm gonna let you. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is how I feel about it.
I feel, Ray, that is how the fighters probably feel about it. Like, let me go out. The ref should let me go out. But how are we going to let Dominique Cruz or any other fighter for that matter be able to look at a ref and say, here's what I want you to do? Basically let me freaking go unconscious in there, or let me get my ass kicked. The referee can't really do that and can't really just let fighters go out like that.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. But I'm saying like, just like, it wasn't like he was laying on the ground, like not defending himself, getting ground and pounded, I'm saying like Dominic was showing that he was getting up, you know what I'm saying? Like when they stopped it, he was getting up, he was on his knee. Like, so he was fighting it. Yes, he was taking shots, but he was getting up. You see what I'm saying? I'm not saying like let them just die, fucking get KO'd and down on this, but I'm saying like, I feel like since he told him like, hey, like let me fight through it, he didn't even really give him a chance to fight through it, That's basically what I'm trying to say.
I mean, for me,
because he was getting up.
What did you say?
I said no, because he was getting up. So that's what I was saying. Like in that case, I feel like you gotta have to let him fight through since he's getting up. If he would have got back up and got knocked back down, that's different. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that he was getting up, I feel like you gotta let it go.
Yeah, because me as an ignorant fight fan, I want to see like I want him to go the full extent if it's it. Because I'm always on you should be on the caution of stop it before it gets too late. But it's a championship fight. You gotta have a clear winner. And usually when there's something like that, it's kind of unfortunate. But I mean,
okay, I kind of want to like this kind of off topic, but like I just want you guys to think about this. So think back to what was it, Chuck Congo and Pat Barry. Think about that fight.
Yeah.
How many times he got stunned and smacked the ground, the ref let it go. And then guess what? He ended up winning the fight. You know what I'm saying? And he was getting dropped. I thought he was KO'd every single time. But he got right back up. It was still wobbling, still fighting because the ref was letting them fight through it. I feel like that's basically what I'm trying to get at. Like, look at that fight. It's kind of like if he can let him fight through, he can let Dom fight through. You know what I'm saying?
Do you guys feel like –
I mean –
Go ahead.
Oh, what's up? Oh, I mean, that's like I don't think I've ever seen a fight as crazy as that. First of all, that's probably one of the craziest comebacks ever. I haven't seen anything like that ever happen since that. So I feel like that is a good point. But that's such a rare occasion.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's Dominic Cruz. It's Dominic Cruz. I mean, if anybody could pull it off, maybe Dominic Cruz could. But that's a tough one, man. That's a tough one.
Cody dropped him many a times too. Cody dropped down plenty of times.
Facts. I mean, I just think.
Yeah, I'm saying like when he fought Garbrandt.
Cal, you there?
Yeah, hold on, guys.
Did we lose Cal?
No, hold on. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
We're good.
Okay, bet. Yeah, we're still good here, guys. We're still good here, guys. I mean,
we're not getting lost. We got it.
I mean, it was an interesting fight. It was an interesting fight. At the end of the day, you could look at the stoppage and you could have a problem with the stoppage. My problem was more so on the eye of like Cruz coming out and saying I demanded of this ref, or I asked of this ref, to let me go out and to expect that kind of treatment from an official. Him smelling like he was out at he was out on the town the night before. That's probably a little bit relevant information that I want to know about. I'm trying to party with Keith Peterson because he seems like a cool freaking dude, man.
Keith Peterson.
Small ass.
No alcohol and cigarettes, man.
Hey, Keith was on his toes last night though. The bosses were watching. The bosses were watching.
He looked good.
So after Henry gets finished with Cruz, he gets on the mic and he announces that he's going to be retiring. Can you guys hear me?
Bullshit.
Bro, come on, Henry. It's just when you can't get any more annoying. That's it, guys. That's it. Just come on,
dude, bro. Henry, bro. Bro, as soon as he said that, I was like, shut up, bro. You're not, bro. That was basically
bro. That was the most
annoying
return. What are you saying?
Seriously, I was like, that was literally him saying like, if you're not gonna pay me, I'm not gonna fight. That's basically what that was. He's not retiring. He's probably gonna take a little time off. If they offer him a money fight, he's coming to fight.
I mean,
that's basically what he's doing.
If you really think about it, he beat DJ, potential GOAT, TJ, who was the best at the time, Moraes, who was a monster, and then he just beat Cruz, which is another GOAT. So I feel like he beat literally the best of the best.
He has my respect.
But of course, you want him to fight longer, But it's like,
yeah, like he has my respect. Like, yeah, even though I make fun of him a lot about like the cringe shit and all that, like overall, he's a phenomenal fighter.
Absolutely.
So like, he has my respect for everything. I was just saying, like, come on, Henry, bro. If they offer you a money fight, you're fighting. Like, he's not retired. That was just him saying, "Yo, pay me," basically.
Dana.
I mean, they're only doing a Peter Yan versus somebody, and I heard it's not Aljamain.
Bro, it has to be Sterling.
I mean, yeah. Hey, am I coming through? Am I coming through? Okay, guys, are we having some connection issues?
Didn't Aljamain say he didn't want to fight on? Oh. I hear you now.
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, sweet. I think we're good. Yeah. So the title, I guess, is going to be vacant, and somebody's gonna have to fight for it. I tell you one thing. As Henry turned around and basically, he retired, but he basically begged the UFC for money right there. That was a little cringe, guys. I'm gonna just be real. That may have been the cringiest thing that he did. And the funny thing is that it may not have even been unironic. Is he literally turned around and begged the UFC? And Dana's not going to give him anything. It's the Mighty Mouse thing all over again. Mighty Mouse was the greatest flyweight of all time, one of the greatest fighters of all time, and could not get paid. And we really think and Henry's 3 inches shorter than him. So why do we think that he's gonna automatically become some kind of draw?
I can't hear anything Cal's saying, man.
Am I coming all right? Am I coming in all
okay,
right?
But to be fair, he has. Yeah, you're not at all. That's why Tommy's laughing.
Oh, I'm so dead. You're just going on a rant.
Because your connection, bro, you keep going in and out.
What are we saying, right?
Like,
try to pick up on what he's saying. Let's keep going. Keep it going.
Oh, basically, he was talking about like how basically Henry shut the hell up. Like, you don't deserve that shit. But I was saying, I think that like I kind of understand. Like I feel he beat everyone. You know what I'm saying? So it's only fair he gets the money fight. He's a double champ. Like all the cringe stuff, yeah, I hate it. But he comes to fight, he wins, and he looks good doing it. So it's like
somehow
you can't be mad at it. You can't be mad at it. You kind of have like, all right, like yeah, you're cheesy for that, but we got you.
Dude, he fought Cejudo on like a broken foot. I mean, not Cejudo. He fought Moraes on a broken foot. Just like how do you and he's getting leg kicked and he looks amazing in the third round.
And finished him.
There's nobody like him. Nobody like him.
It's fair. Kyle, are you there?
Yeah, hey, can you guys hear me? You guys might just have to finish the show without me. I mean, I'll just come in and pop in, but
hey, we're good. We're good.
You guys can't hear me.
We're good right now,
we'll
but
just keep it rolling because I literally laid down a legendary rant on the Triple C, man, because that was just that was cringy. That was cringy.
I heard you.
He could leave. He could leave the UFC, and I'm gonna buy. The next the next 4 pay-per-views, or that casual fan is going to buy the next 4 pay-per-views. I do like watching Henry fight. We are going to miss him if he truly is indeed retired.
If he's really gone.
Something tells me he might be back. We might see him in WWE or something. We might see him get knocked out by Ryan Garcia or something.
They need to shut that shit up, bro. Henry, you don't box, cut it out. But I respect it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta respect the hustle from Henry. Like I said, as crazy as that motherfucker is, you have to respect
it. He gets people talking.
He's trying to get that bag. And he's accomplished great things inside the cage. So I feel like
incredible.
Let him do what he wants. He's a double champ. Khan's a double champ. You let him do what he wants. Let him do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, who cares now? It's fighting. Let him do what he wants. It's weird, but that's how I feel about
fighting,
it's strange times. And it has to be strange times because we woke up on Sunday morning and Tony Ferguson's 12-fight win streak was over, was no more. And watching the performance that Gaethje had, it was really something. It was really incredible, man. But it just felt weird. It just feels weird waking up in a world where Tony didn't fight for the title. He never fought Khabib. And now what is he gonna do? What is he gonna do? We'll talk. We could talk about what his next steps are, but let's just hear some thoughts on the fight. Hello.
You got it, Tommy. Where we go?
Sure, I'll take it. But
okay.
I mean, honestly, I'm not losing faith in Khabib versus Tony. I still hope it can happen one day, but I feel like it might be the one that got away. But
100%.
Justin Gaethje, he's so good. He was the perfect style matchup for Tony. He beat Tony on his own game. The shot selection was there. Everything was there. The combinations. Tony, when you really look back at it, Tony basically had nothing for him.
I agree with you, man. There's 2 things I feel about that fight that people kind of didn't really think about. One is I feel like people don't really Tony is a phenomenal fighter. He's amazing. He's one of my favorites, but he takes damage. He gets dropped. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like a lot of people didn't even think about that when the fight was made. They're like, "Oh, Tony's just gonna fuck Gaethje up." But I was like, Gaethje hits hard as hell. You know what I'm saying? He's been knocking everyone out, and I feel like they weren't considering that at all. But we saw, bro. He's like you said, he had no answer. Gaethje was hitting him with bombs, bro. Bombs. And unchecked kicks and just, man. You got hats off to Gaethje, man.
Hats off to Gaethje. He's the champ now. He's next in line. I give Ferguson a whole lot of props because, he was eating shots the entire fight, eating some shots that we know have put men out. You know what I'm saying? Men just as good as Tony, out on the ground. It just wasn't Tony's night, man. It felt like after that second round, he just started slowing down a little bit. He was able to cut Justin, clean with a lot of good shots. We saw the uppercut that dropped him in the second round. But and Tony never quit, and he never quit the entire fight. I mean, he just
too much heart, bro.
Kept it up.
Same.
I mean, what do y'all think is next for him?
Oh man, I don't know. You kind of have to feel for him, man, because he didn't have to take this fight. That just shows you the type of fighter he is. But it's just really, really sad to see because I feel like there's no one more deserving of the title than Tony Ferguson. He deserves it so much. And I just to see him go all like that, it kind of hurt me. I was rooting for Gaethje. I'm a fan of Tony too, but I was rooting for Gaethje, and it just kind of hurt just to see him kind of I get him with that last shot, and he's kind of wincing. Kind of when the dog gets hit on his nose, and he's kind of oh snap, that was super sad to see. I was like, oh damn, Tony, But you see him on social media, he's living it up. He's recovering, he's in good spirits. So El Cucuy is going to be back. So I mean, I'm not worried about it.
Hey, he's gonna be back.
I mean,
go ahead, Tommy.
Oh, I was gonna say, I mean, the thing about Tony, he was fighting until literally his body shut down. which is crazy. Just
Savage.
the weird movements.
Yeah.
I'm still in disbelief that he got finished. It doesn't make sense to me. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly, man. It was crazy, and now the entire storyline of the division is changed forever. And now, I mean, we get to talk about. we get to talk about Gaethje versus Khabib. You know, a fight that really was not on fans' radar, man.
God.
I mean, when can they get this together? Because that is the fight that we need right now, guys. What
I'm saying.
what is going to happen in that fight? Fireworks.
Bro, Tommy, go ahead. Let them know. Go ahead. Let them know, Tommy.
I think Justin's got a big shot. I think he's got a big shot at doing this. I think he's Khabib's toughest matchup. I think Justin Gaethje is a tougher matchup than Tony against Khabib, because Gaethje has got that NCAA wrestling. I feel like Gaethje's got the anti-wrestling Chuck Liddell thing, where it's like he's got like the world-class wrestling to keep it on the feet. And Khabib has never fought a high-class wrestler like Gaethje. When you think about it, Khabib fought Dustin Poirier, who was a good Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu person, but not really like a wrestler. Edson Barboza, not a wrestler. Who else Khabib fight? Well, Conor, not a wrestler. So this is the first time Khabib is fighting someone with that wrestling pedigree and that type of power. And I mean, it's too soon to call it right now, but
on top of that, Gaethje's a defensive wrestler, so it's like it's even better for him. You know, like he always says all the time, I'm a defensive wrestler, and defensive wrestlers are scary. He don't care to wrestle, but if you go to, boom, like this defensive wrestling. I feel like it's going to be really not tough for Khabib to get taken down, because Khabib takes everybody down, but I feel like it's going to be a tougher fight than what people imagine. That's what I think about it.
It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. I hope that they can get that one scheduled as soon as possible, man. And like I said, it just feels like a different world now. Like we're in a different reality. It really feels like, because the implications of a Gaethje versus Khabib fight. Well, now we're talking, you know, if Gaethje's able to beat Khabib, then we're talking about Gaethje versus Conor, or, you know, it just is crazy. It just is totally crazy. And hats off to Gaethje, man, to take that opportunity, to take that fight on short notice amidst, you know, just some really weird odds, and be able to pull off the victory like that. And it was just a spectacular return for the UFC. I'm sure that they did some great numbers. I know I bought the pay-per-view. And you know, they kept it going. They kept it going with an event that they pulled off last night. It was a great card. Last night we had Glover Teixeira taking on Anthony Lionheart Smith, and pulling off an impressive win. It was a 5-round war. It was a great fight. What are y'all's thoughts about Glover kind of beating the brakes off Anthony Smith last night?
40 years old. That's crazy. 40 years old and still got it. I think it's the best he's looked in a minute. He's gotten finished like not like lately, right? He's been finished a couple times.
Glover?
Like he's been finished a couple times, like bad. Like I remember Johnson knocked him out. That was a bad one.
Oh, Gustafsson pieced him up.
That's what I'm saying. Like I know he's been hurt pretty bad, but like, dude, he looked good. I was impressed. I honestly thought Lionheart was gonna beat him up, but Lionheart got caught, and after that, it was just a one-sided beatdown, like a bully giving the little dude a swirly in the bathroom at school or some shit like that. Like it was a beatdown.
It's crazy because in the first round you saw both guys. Anthony Smith looked the fastest he's ever looked in his career, and Glover was just a step slower. And Anthony Smith is getting on the combinations, and then we go into the second round. Anthony Smith is a little slower, so they're both like about the same pace. Mm-hmm. Glover's exactly the same pace. And then the third round, Anthony Smith's even slower, and Glover's the exact same bobbing and weaving. He just
Yes.
he kept the same exact cardio the entire fight, and he was throwing at a crazy rate. And I mean, he was just the one that outlasted.
That was
Yeah,
amazing, man.
after the second round, it was just kind of it got kind of just difficult to watch, man, because you're seeing a guy in Anthony Smith who's really showing a lot of heart. He never quit that entire fight, and at the end of that fourth round, we saw him come out, and I heard over the broadcast that he was missing some teeth. I thought I saw him. I know I saw him hand like the ref I thought was his mouth guard in the middle of that fourth round, but I think he said it was his tooth.
I
He
didn't
picked
see
up and
that.
handed to
That's
the
crazy.
ref.
Insane.
Bro, what is this sport that we're watching, man?
It's
is this even a
barbaric.
sport?
It is
sport,
crazy,
man?
bro.
Yo, he out here.
It's kind of sad.
Go ahead, Ray.
What you say? No, I was saying no. It was just it was really like you said. It was really sad to see, man, because I could tell he already gave up, and not because he wanted to, but he was losing. He was hurt really bad, and Lionheart is literally the perfect name for him because he never gave up at all. But I just feel like as like his team and like his corner, I feel like they have to throw in a towel. I feel like they shouldn't let their fighter, get beat up like that. Like he had absolutely no chance in that fight. He was getting brutalized. And I just, it was just sad to see because, he's coming back. He's telling them, like, hey, my teeth are falling out, this and that. Like, those are all signs of saying, like, hey, I want out of this fight, And I feel like you got to, if your fighter's giving you those signs, you got to take it. And even though, you got to throw in the towel. That's how I feel about it.
It's just hard looking at it because I feel like the corner had too much pride to let it go. Like they felt like they were the ones that were going to make the miracle happen. They were the ones that they're going to do the shocking comeback. But I mean, it's so easy for us to all like look and be like, what the fuck are you doing? Oh, come on. But it's crazy. Like imagine like being in their shoes, all the work, all the build up. It takes so much to tell your fighter, okay, this is it. But I mean, it is your job to do that as the coach.
Yeah.
But it's just a tough situation. It's just so unfortunate.
Yeah, and when the corner can't be expected to always be able to recognize that their fighter is done, or maybe they recognize it and they can't. When the corner fails to throw in the towel, what then is the responsibility of the referee or the doctors watching to step in and stop it themselves? Because that's what I don't think we should put it on the coaches' corners. There's money invested for them to not throw the towel. The difference between how much money you make when you win or lose a fight a lot of times is subconsciously in their heads when it is in their heads when they're thinking about whether they want to end the fight. What should the ref what responsibility should the referee or the the commission have to step in and stop it?
I don't know. I feel like I guess it's both on the ref and the team, but I feel like I don't know. I feel like me personally, like if I was a coach and I see like my fighter going through that and he's coming back telling me stuff like that, I feel like I'm like, like I'm gonna throw. I don't care how much money I have invested in me. I don't care about anything else but my fighter. I'm like, no, like I love this kid. I'm thinking about him. I'm not thinking about anything else. And if I feel like he's done, I'm gonna have to throw the towel. And he's gonna have to understand that. That's kind of like how I feel about it. I feel like that's how it should be.
That fight took like a couple years off his life. Like it had to.
100%.
Come on.
Yeah, man, it was brutal. Hopefully he's able to get those teeth back in because I think he saw him. I think I saw him lose one of the ones in the front of his mouth. But yeah, I think he said he had a broken orbital. His eye was all fucked up. Yeah, he's gonna need to take some time and recover, hopefully. But I think it was a good fight. And I guess that just leads us into what to expect this weekend when the UFC comes back again with another event out of the arena they've got set up down in Jacksonville, and Alistair Overeem takes on Walt Harris in another heavyweight matchup. Guys, your quick thoughts about what we can expect this weekend?
You got it right.
Okay. Well, for me personally, first of all, expect fireworks. This is a great card stack. But for this fight specifically, you got to go Big Walt. You know what I'm saying? I've been a fan of Walt Harris for a pretty long time, but I just feel like you got to go for Big Walt. And like I know this fight means so much to him. He's gone through a lot, and I feel like everyone wants it. Like the lights are shining on him. I feel like he has to win this fight. I hope he wins this fight. I cannot wait. But yeah, that's what I think about that.
Hey, I love the fight, and honestly, Walt should get the win. He has to for everything that's going on in his life. But I've been following Alistair Overeem personally for a long, long
That's your
time,
boy.
and
That's your boy.
I hate to see him lose. But I wish I don't want Walt Harris to lose. That's the thing. I just want a good fight, and I don't want too much permanent damage. That's all I'm gonna say. But it's a good one. It's a good one.
Yeah, and there's definitely going to be a lot of pressure, I think, on both fighters to put on a show, because once again, this is another event that the UFC is bringing to us within the midst of no other sports going on. And they are, while promoting this event, definitely, I think they're releasing a some kind of special tomorrow about the tragedy of Walt Harris and what happened to his stepdaughter, and that's the angle they're going with to, I guess, promote the fight, which I understand. So we're going to be rallying for him, and hopefully he's able to rise to that occasion, man. I'm just excited. I'm excited that on Saturday we get more fights.
Get more fights. That's crazy. Can't get enough, man.
Can't get enough, guys. I mean, I don't think I need to say it, but I will. If you're watching this out there, we apologize for the technical difficulties on this episode. We are happy to be back, and we're gonna try to keep it consistent and get those bugs worked out. But we're gonna get it smoothed out. I'm happy to be back with you guys for another week.
For sure, bro. Good times. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Hey, guys, we'll be back next week. We're going to get it uploaded. Once again, we are going to try to figure out the live stream capabilities. And, just look for us. Follow us on Twitter and subscribe. Say your piece, y'all.
Yes, sir. Deuce. Boom.